Let me ask you a question. Most founders don't want to answer, not because they don't understand it, but because deep down they already know the answer. And it is this: are you building repeatable income? Not random sales, not one good month, not people like my work, not I have visibility, not I'm busy. Because if your business needs a miracle, a viral post, a last-minute client, a panic promotion, or a soft life prayer circle every single month just to breathe, that's not a business model. That's emotional aerobics without an invoice attached. Now let that sit. And today, I am not here to pet your excuses. Today, we're talking about the money, the repeatable money, the predictable money, the kind of income that doesn't just make you visible, it makes you fundable. Recently, there was a major conversation around Spirit Airlines and what went wrong. Most people looked at that story from the perspective of a passenger. So they talked about the seats, the fees, the baggage, the customer experience, the cheap tickets. And listen, all of that matters. It does. But after 30 odd years in aviation, I think I know a little bit. I don't see airlines the way passengers see them. I see the math, the fixed costs, the aircraft lease, the fuel exposure, the route profitability, the crew costs, the maintenance schedule. I see operational structure underneath the brand. Because in aviation, a full plane can still lose money. So can a full calendar. So can a full workshop. A full client roster, a full inbox, or a full room. Because here's the thing, fullness is not the same as profitability. And visibility is not the same as viability. And while I'm here, let me just leave this one with you. Revenue is also not the same as repeatable income. So let's get started. Some of you aren't building businesses. You're building monthly emergencies. So every month, you're starting from zero. You have to hunt. You have to chase. You have to convince. You have to discount. Every month, you have to just put something out there. And you're convincing yourself, well, entrepreneurship is hard. And you won't get any dispute from me around that. Because yes, entrepreneurship is hard. But some of what you're calling hard is actually poor structure. And I'm not going to lie to you. If your income resorts to zero every month, that is a design problem. If your revenue depends entirely on your energy, that is a design problem. If every single time you have to put on a full emergency and emotional performance, that is a design problem. If you cannot forecast the next 60 to 90 days in your business operations, that is a design problem. And if you're calling that hard, or you're calling that freedom, it isn't. That's captivity with Canva graphics. So here's the question, and I want you to really sit for a second and let this one sink in, because this one is going to hit hard. Are you building repeatable income? Can your business generate revenue again and again from a clear offer to a clear audience through a clear system? Think about it. With a clear pathway to delivery. See how many clears that was? And profit. Or are you simply hoping the market remembers you? Every month. Because here's the thing. Hope is not a pipeline or a pricing strategy. Hope is not a revenue model, or what, most importantly, banks fund, or what investors trust. Hope is not what strategic partners can evaluate. Fundability begins when your business can show patterns. Patterns of demand, of delivery, of cash flow, of profitability, of customer behavior, patterns of disciplined decision making. Now, I want you to really pay attention to what structure, because this is what we're talking about here. We're talking about structure, not emotion, not effort, and not she works hard. This is what capital systems are looking for. Not your passion, your logo, not your cute brand shoot. Don't let them fool you. Visibility can only take you so far. So you need a model, a revenue rhythm, offers that don't exhaust you. You need pricing that includes profit. A pipeline that doesn't depend on panic. You need repeatable income. So what does repeatable income look like? It looks like a business where you can answer these questions without sweating. 1. Where is next month's revenue coming from? 2. Which offer produces the most consistent income? 3. Which clients are likely to return? 4. Which services are profitable? I'll leave that alone for a future video post. And 5, which marketing activities actually convert? One more. Should I continue? Which expenses are fixed? One more. Which costs rise as you grow? One more. What is your minimum monthly revenue requirement? Remember, you have sunk costs. Whether you make $1, $100, $1,000, or $100,000, there are sunk costs that have to be paid before profit. What's your break-even point? Do you know it? Can you calculate it with certainty? What's your profit margin? Do you know it? Can you calculate it? Or are you hoping that that's the accountant's job and not yours? I could tell you a story. Anyhow, let me leave that. What happens if sales slow down? Right now, customers are separating their wants from their needs. So customers have become very conscious of the disbursement of capital across the board. What happens if sales slow down for 90 days? And here's the big one. What part of your business is built to generate income without you constantly performing? Because if your entire business depends on you being visible every single day, you don't have a visibility strategy. You have a nervous system problem wearing lipstick. And this is exactly why Power Circle exists. Not because I needed another pretty room, or that women need more empowerment, that word that I hate, with no execution. Or because we want to sit around talking about dreams. Remember those bottomless mimosas that I talked about? Let me just take a minute for that. While avoiding the numbers. No. Power Circle exists because founders need rooms where we ask better questions. And I know some of you are not ready to ask those better, hard questions, so you'll avoid my Power Circle. But for those of you who are, as I said in a recent interview, fed up of being fed up, sharper and uncomfortable questions are what you need. Questions like, are you building something fun? Questions like, are you building something repeatable? Questions like, are you building something sustainable? Questions like, are you building something that can survive turbulence? And this is also why my upcoming Fundable Lab at the end of June exists. Because there is where the hard work starts. It's all right to say that entrepreneurship is hard, but you have to choose your hard. Where we look at the business underneath the branding, the pricing, the revenue, the readiness, the systems, the visibility offers the fundability gaps. Because I don't want you walking around being celebrated, but structurally exposed. And we know for a fact that social media has made a lot of businesses and a lot of women-owned businesses highly visible. Everybody knows them. Everybody loves them. But underneath the razzle and dazzle is a fragile structure. I don't want you clapping for visibility while your business is quietly starving. Does that hit a note? Is that what you're actually dealing with right now? You don't have to tell me. I've lived it. I know it. I know better, so I do better. And I'm carrying you for the ride. Some of you kicking and screaming. I don't want you mistaking activity for strategy. I want you fundable. And fundable means your business can be understood, evaluated, trusted, and supported by